Have you ever looked back at something that you allowed, something you tolerated, something you settled for, and then asked yourself, why did I let that happen? Why was I susceptible? Why didn't I walk away when the red flags were waving? If that's you, here's the truth. You were wounded. And when a heart has been bruised, it doesn't always choose what's healthiest. It often chooses what feels familiar, what feels like comfort, what feels like love, even when it's actually control. For me, it was my pastor, a man I respected, a man I believed was my spiritual leader, a man who knew exactly how to speak to the deepest needs in my heart. So why did I settle for his advances? Because I wasn't just responding to him, I was also responding to something in me. Sometimes a woman settles because she's starving for affection, starving for affirmation and for attention. And when you've been emotionally rejected and neglected, when you've been rejected by other people, when you've been made to feel invisible, attention can feel like relief, like air. And here's what many people don't understand. Sometimes the red flags don't look red at first. They look like kindness. They look like mentorship. They look like, I'm here for you. But that's how grooming works. It starts small. A special conversation, a private meeting, a compliment that lingers too long, a message after hours, a sense that you're chosen, you're different, you're set apart. And slowly the boundaries blur. And as women, we can begin ignoring what our spirit keeps whispering. This isn't right. This is too much. This is crossing a line. So why do women ignore red flags? Because we don't want to lose the relationship. We don't want to be alone. We don't want to accept that someone we trusted could be unsafe or taking advantage of us. And sometimes we've been trained to doubt ourselves. We were taught to be polite, to be loyal, to be forgiving, to not make waves, to submit, even when submission turns into silence. So what can we learn from being taken advantage of? 1, your vulnerability is not a character flaw. It's a signal you needed care. 2, discernment is not meant to be ignored. Those red flags were not there to shame you. They were there to protect you. 3, when there is a power imbalance, consent gets convoluted, especially when the power is mixed with authority, spirituality, and power. Because then what they're really controlling is your trust in them and your vulnerabilities. So how do we recover? We recover by telling the truth. First to ourselves, not the polished version, not the minimized version, not the version that protects them, but the truth. We recover by naming what it was, not a mistake or an affair, but the abuse of power. We recover by grieving because, yes, you lost something. You lost innocence. You lost time. You lost peace. You lost the ability to trust easily. And then we rebuild. We rebuild boundaries. We rebuild our identity. We rebuild confidence. We rebuild our voice. And we stop asking what's wrong with me and start asking what happened to me. Because healing begins when shame ends. And now I want to speak to the woman who feels embarrassed, to the woman who feels foolish, to the woman who keeps replaying the moments and wishing she could rewrite the end of the story. Listen to me, please. Your pain does not cancel your value. Your story does not make you less. What happened to you did not reduce you. It revealed what you were needing. and what someone else was willing to exploit. But you're still here, aren't you? And that means you're still becoming. You're still chosen, not by a person, not by a platform, but chosen by God for healing, for wholeness, and for a future that is not chained to your past. You are special because even after being hurt, you still have a heart that wants love. It still has faith. It still has hope. And it still has a desire to live free. That's your strength. That is beauty. That is you. So let this be a reminder. You don't have to prove your worth by tolerating what harms you. You don't have to earn love by shrinking your boundaries. You don't have to stay silent to keep the peace. You are allowed to protect your heart. You're allowed to say no and to walk away. You're allowed to heal. And if you've been there, I want to tell you, you're not disqualified. You're a woman with a wounded heart, and wounded hearts can heal. And next time, you won't ignore the red flags. I won't ignore them, because now we know that your peace is precious. Your body is sacred. Your intuition is wisdom, and your voice is your power. This is Patricia Arps with Power Restored Consulting. Please subscribe and share. Please visit powerrestoredconsulting.com to get scheduled for your free therapy session and consultation with me. See you then.